I should have sensed something was wrong when she insisted on covering her own birthday dinner. Come on, Ryan, she said, smiling a little too easily. Let me take care of it this year. You always do too much. It sounded considerate, even sweet. After 8 years of marriage, those small gestures used to carry meaning. But lately, her thoughtfulness had a strange aftertaste, like honey masking rust. We had been distant for months. The laughter that once filled our home had faded into polite check-ins. I blamed it on work, on fatigue, on everything but the growing silence between us. When she suggested dinner at La Valina, the same Italian spot where I'd proposed, it almost felt like a sign, like maybe she wanted to fix things too. She wore that red dress, the one that had stopped me mid-sentence years ago. When she stepped from the bedroom, my first thought was, this is the woman I loved. My next thought was, why does she look uneasy? The restaurant was warm, filled with soft chatter and clinking glasses. A waiter led us to a table tucked by the window. It was already set for 4. Are we expecting someone? I asked, trying to sound casual. Oh, she said, brushing it off. Just a couple of my coworkers. They might join for dessert. Her voice was too airy. My stomach tightened. We ordered wine. She kept glancing at her phone between sips. I tried to make small talk about work, her painting lessons, even her favorite shows, but her eyes kept darting to the door. When the pair finally arrived, I recognized one of them from her office photos, Samantha, the HR manager she always grumbled about. The man beside her was new, tall, sharp suit, too self-assured. She introduced him as Eli. Just joined our marketing team, she said. We've been collaborating on that new campaign. He offered his hand. Firm grip. Polished smile. Ryan, right? I've heard so much about you. The words landed strangely. So much about me. I wondered what exactly she'd shared. Dinner moved along, like a slow scene where everyone knew their lines except me. They joked about office things. She laughed too loudly, too brightly, and touched Eli's arm once, maybe twice. Not enough to be blatant, but enough to make my chest ache. I excused myself midway through dessert. In the mirror of the restroom, I saw a man forcing a smile through something he didn't yet understand. I splashed water on my face and told myself I was overthinking. That's what lovers do. They give the benefit of the doubt until it rots them inside. When I returned, they were finishing their wine. My wife glanced at me quickly, almost startled. We were just talking about next weekend, she said. The team might head to that lake house Eli rents sometimes. You should come. Her words were too fast, too practiced. I smiled, pretending not to notice the flicker of panic in her eyes. The check came shortly after. I reached for it out of habit, but the waiter hesitated. It's already been taken care of, sir, he said politely. By whom? I asked. He nodded discreetly toward Eli, already slipping on his jacket. My wife froze. A small nervous laugh escaped. Oh, Eli, you didn't have to. He shrugged. It's your birthday, remember? That's when it clicked. The early reservation. The 2 casual coworkers. The table for 4. It wasn't my dinner for her. It was theirs, with me accidentally invited. I said nothing. Not then. On the drive home, she hummed softly, as if silence could erase it all. When we pulled in, she finally turned to me. You're quiet, she said. I'm just thinking, I replied. About the check. Her hand stiffened on her purse strap. What about it? I smiled faintly. The kind that hides a storm. Just curious how long he's been covering the bill. For more than dinners, I mean. Her lips parted, but no words came. Happy birthday, I said, stepping out of the car. Hope the night was everything you imagined. She didn't enter right away. I heard the soft click of the car door, the tap of her heels on the driveway, hesitant, almost guilty. When she finally came in, I was already sitting at the kitchen counter, a half-full glass of whiskey before me. Ryan, she started, her voice low. It's not what you think. That line, every cheater's anthem. I almost laughed, but it came out as a long sigh instead. Then help me understand, I said quietly. She paused, brushing hair behind her ear. The same nervous gesture she always made when words failed her. It was just dinner. He offered to pay. Nothing more. Sure, I said. Just like the lake house trip is just work. Her eyes widened. She hadn't expected me to remember. For a few seconds, we stood in silence, the kind that only honesty fills, the ugly, undeniable kind. Then she turned, walked to the living room, sinking into the couch like her legs had given up, pretending nothing happened. She said again, weaker this time. I just needed to feel noticed. That word, noticed, hung between us like a shadow. I thought of the years I'd spent noticing everything. How she liked her coffee, how she hated alarms, how she always felt cold at night but never admitted it. I noticed her even when she stopped noticing me. You know, I said slowly. It's funny. I spent years trying to make you feel special. And now some guy buys you pasta and suddenly he's different. Tears welled in her eyes. It's not about him, Ryan. It's about me. No, I said softly. It's about us and what you did to it. She buried her face in her hands. I wanted anger. I wanted to shout, break something, demand answers, but I couldn't. I just felt exhausted, tired in a way that seeps into your bones and tells you a chapter has already closed, whether you admit it or not. I'm sorry, she whispered. The thing about apologies, they only matter if they come before the truth is found. After that, they're just noise. That night, I slept on the couch, staring at the ceiling. I remembered the first time we moved into this house. The way she laughed when boxes toppled over. The plans we made for a future that now felt like someone else's story. Morning light always tells the truth. When I woke, she was gone. Her side of the bed untouched. Her keys missing from the hook. No note, no goodbye. By noon, a text arrived. I need space. I'll stay at my sister's for a few days. But I knew better. Her sister lived 2 hours away, and Eli's apartment was 15 minutes from her office. I didn't respond. I opened our shared account instead. A transfer had gone through the night before. $200 to a name I didn't recognize. A restaurant, not love. Alina, a different one. I checked older transactions and found a pattern. Same place, different dates. Thursdays, the nights she claimed to work late. That was proof, not of infidelity, but of betrayal. The quiet kind that erodes love until it collapses. That night, I packed her things neatly into boxes. No rage, no mess, just closure and cardboard. I left them by the door, placing her wedding ring on top, where she would find it. When she returned 2 days later, she froze at the sight. So that's it, she asked, voice trembling. That's it, I said. I finally noticed something too. What? That I deserve? Someone who doesn't need reminders. What love looks like. For a long moment, she didn't move. Then she nodded, as if understanding the silence between us had become permanent. She left, quietly. No shouting, no tears, just the sound of the front door closing on everything we once were. A week later, the restaurant charged me again. Another transaction from the same place. Different date, same name. I smiled, not in bitterness, but peace. Some truths don't need confrontation. They just need distance. I returned to Lavalina a month later, alone. Ordered the dish she loved. The waiter remembered me, even offered the window seat. No, I said with a small smile. I think I've had enough of old memories. Just give me a new table. As the wine poured and the city lights blurred through the glass, I realized something Closure doesn't always arrive with anger. Sometimes, it comes quietly, sits beside you, and says, "You made it out." And I had.